Hello, everyone. This is MMA Interesting Prospects podcast. Today, our guest is Gabe Rednose, who will be making his pro debut on King of the Cage, October 10th. Hello, Gabe. How are you?
I'm doing great, brother. Thank you for having me back on. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for taking the invitation. And actually, we spoke about 1 year ago. And if you can tell me what happened in this last 12 months in your career.
Yeah, I was getting ready to make my professional debut last time we talked, and um, I had an injury come about and that required surgery, so I ended up having to step back and postpone my professional debut. But everything's good to go, healed up 100%. I'm ready to get back in there and get my hands on someone.
And you will be fighting in just few days in the King of the Cage show. And your opponent, it will be Aledre Bracy. And did you have any chance to watch any of his fights, any of his footage?
I've only found one fight. It doesn't really matter to me though. You know, different opponent, different promotion, all the same. It's going to be the same outcome. I didn't look too much into this guy. I just kind of focused on sharpening the blades of my arsenal, and it's going to be my game versus his. So I just wanted to bring the best version of myself possible.
And probably he will be not tougher than some of the opponents that you have as the amateur, because you fought against really tough guys.
Yeah, of course. I think he only had 4 amateur fights before he went pro. I really took my time on the amateur scene and tried to build up a lot of experience and trying to fight the toughest guys that I could possibly find. So I really think that helps me moving forward in my professional career, and I'm ready to test the skill set out on the professional side of things.
And with King of the Cage, is it a one fight deal for you, or do you have a longer period of contract?
It's a 4 fight deal, 4 fight 1 year deal.
Okay, and because you are finishers, so it's like big chance that the fight will be quite quick. So do you have any next dates in mind that you would like to face?
Of course, obviously I'm really focused on what's in front of me now, and God willing, it goes my way. Let's say everything goes my way. Um, I'm looking for a quick turnaround as soon as December, January. I'm ready to get back in there, and with the few surgeries that I've had this last few years, it's kind of maybe sit on the sidelines longer than I'd like to. So, if I'm healthy, I'm going to for sure take advantage of that and try to get in there as much as I possibly can and start raking up these wins so I can try to, use this as a skipping stone and get to where I belong.
And with your finishing kind of style, you can pick a few wins quite quickly. You can be like 5-0 in like 8 or 9 months, actually.
That's the game plan. God willing, of course. This is it's all in God's plan. I've been saying that since day one of my career, and that's just what I'm going to trust. And if it's meant to be, it will be. So as long as I'm healthy, I'm going to do my best to get in there as much as possible.
And what do you think about your cardio? Because always when the fighter is finishing his opponents quite quickly, there is, from the fans' perspective, a little bit like question mark. What's gonna happen if the fight will be a 15-minute fight? So if you can tell me, how do you feel about your cardio?
My cardio is locked into the T. I'm ready for 5 5-minute rounds. Let's just find an opponent that can last all 5, and I'm willing to go all 5 as well. I haven't found anyone that could, get me to go to the distance yet, but that doesn't mean anything. I'm sure that I'll run into that real soon, and I'm welcoming that because, I take a lot of pride being a bigger guy and having the cardio that I do. So I'm ready to test my cardio out and, go to a decision, and just so I can prove, what level of cardio I actually have.
And when the fighters from the heavier weight classes like Cain Velasquez got this crazy cardio, everybody is talking about him. Even like many years after he retired, it's like the guy with the like heavier guy with great cardio is always like mentioned by fans.
Yeah, he's a prime example of, exactly what I'm working towards. And, he's a good role model to see him in the heavyweight division and have the cardio that he does. Although I'm fighting in the light heavyweight division, he's still a good person to, because right off the bat, you think of heavyweight and who the best cardio guy is. You immediately think of Cain Velasquez. So, yeah, I would love to, one day be compared to him with my cardio. That'd be cool.
Yes, and especially that he wasn't like a super big guy, like super big
Yeah,
heavyweight,
yeah,
like 265.
yeah. He was even a smaller guy, probably like 230 ish, probably around there. Uh, yeah, he's a good one for sure.
On the Jackson podcast with the Quinton Rampage Jackson, there were
Yes.
a guest, yes, the president of King of the Cage, and in the conversation was said that there will be few like big names, big legends. In this show, including Quinton Rampage Jackson. So, did you have any chance to meet him or talk with him before this show?
I haven't got to meet Rampage yet, but we have been messaging a little bit on Instagram, so I hope to get out there and maybe get some training with him in soon. And um, that'd be for sure something cool to do and something that I'd be willing to do and go out and learn from him some. Yeah, Terry Treblecock, he's the owner and president of King of the Cage. I did recently did some business with him, and we got a contract written up, and here I am.
I think that this kind of big names can help. Of course, the King of the Cage is like super known promotion, but overall, I think that these big names, big legends can help like promote the show a little bit.
Yeah, of course. I think 23 UFC champions have came out of King of the Cage, so that's a pretty cool statistic to have, fighting for them and trying to get to that level.
Especially that the promotion started, I believe, in '98 or '99, so it was like
Yep.
a long time ago.
That's the year I was born, so yeah, that's pretty cool. 1998.
And lately, when we spoke, you said that you are doing gi competition in like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and in at this point, like before your debut, if you have a like few weeks or months to the fight, do you also like train in gi?
Yeah, so whenever I take my camps under my coach Joe Stevenson, I train in the gi probably twice a week throughout fight camps.
And do you think that it will that it is helping you in some way to prepare for MMA fight?
I think just the knowledge behind it in general. I mean, I don't know if it necessarily prepares me specifically for an MMA fight, but I think just by putting the gi on and going through the motions and learning the techniques that you get taught during, gi jiu-jitsu, I feel like it all ties back together some way or another. So, I mean, maybe it doesn't correct directly correspond straight across, but I feel like if you know like the knowledge behind jiu-jitsu, I feel like it can be used anywhere. So I don't mind it at all. I really love jiu-jitsu. I love wearing the gi. My coach thinks it's kind of rare because there's not a lot of MMA fighters who like putting the gi on. But I for sure enjoy it and don't mind practicing in the gi at all.
And if you can pick a perfect way to end this fight, would you pick a like knockout or submission?
I'm very confident I could go in there and submit this guy rather quick and rather easy. But my coach isn't wanting me to get a submission in this fight, so it'll probably be by knockout or TKO.
And also in this year, a few months ago, the Dominic Reyes won his fight, and of course he's like famous because he gave a lot of problems with John Jones in 2020. And how happy were you after Dominic won his bout?
I was very, very happy for him. Dominic is a really great friend of mine outside of fighting. Obviously that's how we got introduced and how we met, but he's became a great friend of mine outside of that, and a great mentor for me to listen and get his side of things and his opinion on things because he's been where I'm at, and all around I was very happy for him, and I'm going to continue to be happy for him as he continues having more and more success because that guy's a machine, and I for sure see the title being wrapped around his waist before he hangs it up.
Yes, and that fight against John Jones was so close a fight, and there are many people that thought that Dominic won it. So I think that that it would be quite crazy if the like 4 years ago he would win this.
Yeah, man, he's really helped me a lot progressing in my career and teach me certain things. He's been a great role model for me. Him and Joe Stevenson out in Cobra Kai in California, them two together. I get a great training partner and a great coach. Just them two alone have, obviously there's lots of people who go into it out at Cobra Kai. My striking coach, Coach Luis, all my teammates out there, but just having such high level training partners and high level coaching, right there and just sharpening the blades every single day, 8 to 10 hours a day of just going in there and soaking up knowledge and grinding and getting 1% better every single day. That's what I look forward to, and that's what has really helped me out this camp. This is probably the best fight camp I've had in my life, so I'm really, really glad and really happy and excited to get into the cage and showcase my skill set.
And because the fighter that you are fighting right now, probably it will be a maybe not easy, but I think that it will be a first round finish for you. And if you are thinking about your career, your next like 1 or 2 years, when do you see yourself against fighting against the kind of fighter like maybe Bellator veteran, maybe UFC veteran, something like this?
It's all part of God's plan. I don't want to speak too much about the future just because, you never know. And I want to stay humble as I can when I say any of this. But, I think, if I can do what I'm supposed to do, God willing, everything goes my way, as soon as maybe 5 or 6 fights, I think that I'm ready for that level, I'm not scared of anyone, but I also want to take the most strategic route possible to try to get to where I want to be the fastest route and in the fastest time possible. So whenever those fights present themselves and my coach and team think that it's a good idea, I'm ready to stand on that and I'm ready to test it test it and see if I belong there or not. So maybe 5 or 6 fights in, we'll see where I'm at and see where I'm standing. And, it could happen before then. I don't know. Just got to trust the process and, keep putting these guys in front of me and I'll keep knocking them down.
And with like a 6-0 record in light heavyweight division, I think that you will be on the verge of going to the UFC. Maybe it will be like contender series level, but I think that because it is a light heavyweight division, that they always need good prospects. I think that with 6-0, it's like actually a quite good road to get to the UFC.
Yeah, for sure, I agree. Obviously we're still figuring things out, but I think I'm even going to go down a weight class and try middleweight out as well. I'm walking around somewhat light right now, and this cut wasn't terrible at all. I mean, I feel great. We'll see. I'm for sure gonna dip my toes in the water at 185 pounds and see how I feel there, and we'll just take it from there. And I don't know if it'll be my next fight or the one after that, but I eventually, once I get to the level of possibly getting to the UFC or a bigger promotion, 185 pounds will probably be the weight class that it happens in.
Oh, so actually that's quite crazy because you started in heavyweight division, you are going down, but probably nothing less than middleweight.
Yeah, I don't know. Coach Joe has joked about welterweight before, but I don't think that's any time in the near future. Probably not. I mean, realistically, I don't see it, but who knows? Anything is possible. But for now, for sure, just going to focus on raking up some wins regionally on the 205 scene, and then maybe drop down to 185 and test the waters there as well.
And actually, tonight we will have a light heavyweight championship bout. It will be Alex Pereira against Khalil Roundtree. So if you can tell me, of course, that the conversation will be published after the fight, but what do you think about this contest, and who do you think will win this one?
I think stylistically, I think it's a really good matchup. Khalil for sure has the power to come in and do some damage, but I think Alex has the experience and the knowledge to. If I were Alex, I think being a world champion kickboxer, I would just keep my distance and, just start spamming leg kicks like no other. Get him to where make him switch stances, make him a little bit uncomfortable, make him fight in a stance that he doesn't want to fight in, and continue beating the legs up until something opens up top. I mean, I feel like that's the route to go. But Alex is also known to stand and bang and want to prove his power even more. So um, I'm gonna go Alex by KO.
And I think that is quite crazy because if anyone other than Alex would be a champion, it would be a really a tough fight for Khalil because the champion will take him down and like finish him maybe even quickly. But in this fight, you never know. Maybe Khalil in a few hours will be a champion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm never, at this level, you can never really count anyone out because I mean, all it takes is one shot to change an entire fight. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'll be tuned in watching them for sure.
And last year, when we spoke, you said that you have a like competition anxiety, that you are a little bit stressed before your fights. And right now, a few days to the fight, do you also feel the nerves, and do you have only this in your head?
I mean, I feel great now leading up to the fight. I've done everything right. I've done 100% everything right, to my nutrition, to my strength and conditioning, to all of my specific martial arts training. Um, in my head, this is the best place I've been in a long time. And in physical shape, and, this is the best place I've been in a long time as well. So, um, obviously the nerves are going to come, but as of right now in this moment, I'm locked in. I've been locked in for the last 12 weeks, 13 weeks, and I'm just really excited to get back in there and you know test the waters once again. Here I am finally making my professional debut, and this is what everything I've sacrificed for. All the hours I put in is leading up to this moment. And yeah, I'll be nervous, but I'll learn how to control that and turn it into something positive that will end up getting my hand raised.
And because of the situation that happened 1 year ago, that in the end you didn't have the fight, do you feel any like hunger that it is your time, that you want it so badly because of the like unfortunately circumstances that happened?
Of course, I see a lot of guys who I would have been debuting with, and you know, now some of them are already 4-5-0. Getting looked at by the contender series, and I know that I could have been right there with those guys. So goes back to all just being in God's plan and trusting the process, and my time will come when it's right.
Okay, Gabe. So many thanks for the conversation. I think that you soon will be a 1-0 in pro MMA, and I'm looking forward to your next fights because I think that in this like heavier weight classes you are one of the guys to watch, and with your style I think that you will like present a lot of finishes in your career.
I truly appreciate it, brother. Thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure. I watch all of your content, so I'm a big fan, and I really appreciate you having me on again.